So, hey guys, this is Prasan Vasne. Now, actually, I'm working on the end-to-end encryption project, right? So, like you have heard about end-to-end in WhatsApp, or in Telegram, or in Facebook. Like you have heard, like at least you know about the term end-to-end encryption, right? So I'm researching on that. That this keyword triggered me, right? And actually I'm researching on this topic, how is work, how it's gonna work. Okay, so while researching, like I have covered many topics on this end-to-end encryption. Like I have covered what is elliptical curve, what is RSA, what is extended triple TP helmet, triple TP helmet. How it's able to achieve uh, the we can say that forward secrecy, how it's able to achieve mutual authentication, how the intruder is not able to hack, right, is not able to do many terminal attack, right? So we are doing this, right? So we have done the extended triple DP helmet. Now I'm reading, I'm not explaining the double hashed algorithm. Actually I'm understanding this double hashed algorithm, right? So okay, be with me. I will read each and every line so that we are getting some glimpse at least, right? Okay, so double ratchet algorithm is a basically session key management algorithm, right? Basically it changes the key with every session you make, right, to provide end-to-end encryption for instant messaging. That was developed in 2013 by Trevor Patton and Moxie Marlin Spike. It's new, it's not old, right? Okay. Now, the exchange of confidential messages. You know what is confidentiality? Confidentiality is just like we can say that the message is very confidential. It has not to be read by someone, right? It's that confidential, right? If someone reads, like if there was government data sending over communication and some intruder reads, then it's very bad, right? It's not confidential, right? We have to make it end to end. We have to make one person cannot read that message, right? So we have to make that, basically we have to make confidential. So yes, the exchange of confidential messages in case of symmetric crypto system, symmetric crypto system means we have the share secret key is same, right? Share secret key is same in symmetric. Okay, requires that particular two parties of communication have some shared key. Some shared key. Usually the parties use some key arrangement protocol such as extended triple DP helmet in order to agree on the secret shared key, right? Okay. The participants of the secret communication can use the generated key for the participant of the secret communication can use the generated key for further confidential messaging. But in the case of but in this case, the compromise of this key will allow the attacker to gain access to all messages sent before and after the compromise. Okay. Double hashed algorithm was designed to provide perfect forward secrecy. Yes, it's clear. It's designed to provide perfect forward secrecy. You know what is perfect forward secrecy? Means the keys are changing on time to time, right? Or every session, the key is changing, the key is changing, right? Even if the intruder got the key, like is able to guess the key, right? Secret key basically, just shared key basically. He is not able to. He will get only the little information because the key will change on time to time, right? Now, what I'm saying, let me rub my specs also. Okay, so double-hatchet algorithm were designed to provide perfect for secrecy, right? And post compromise security. What does that mean? Post compromise security. Yeah. Basically, we have done. Basically, we can say that post X3DH is double ratchet in this case. In this case, in WhatsApp, we can say that post HTTPS is equal to double ratchet, right? Because we have to achieve, we are not replacing double ratchet with HTTPS. Basically, we are using double ratchet after post mean after the HTTPS, right? So we are using double ratchet after the HTTPS applied, right? So basically, it doesn't provide perfect forward secrecy, right? And post to compromise security, right? Again, I'm saying the participant of the secret communication can use the generated key for further confidential messaging, but in this case, the compromise of this key will allow the attacker to gain the access to all the messages sent before and after the compromise. Yeah, that this is it. If the intruder got the key, he will able to gain. He will the attacker gain the access to all messages sent before and after the compromise. Right. Basically, what is the mean compromise of the key means? Let me search compromise of the key uh, in cryptography means. Okay, what does that mean? If key is compromised, then it means that whatever information is protected, it is also potentially compromised. What does that mean? If key is compromised, that is lost, stolen, broken in some way, right? Then it means that what information it is protecting is also potentially compromised, right? This can lead to a leakage of personal information, trade secrets, and other sensitive information, or to like fraudulent financial transaction, right? Okay, for an organization this can lead into fines and significant reputation damage, and can ultimately reduce the value of the company or even put out of the business, right? The key must be treated as if they have some intrinsic value or they have to protect. Right? So like compromise means the key is like it's broke in some way, stolen in some way, lost in some way, right? This is it. Yes. Like these are the articles I am referring from. These are the good articles, right? I wrote those articles. Now I'm learning this. Okay. Okay. So where were I? Where was I? Where I don't know. Okay. These properties are ensured by the fact that the parties of communication generate new keys for each message using a cryptographic one-way function which prevents an attacker from calculating earlier key using later ones. Besides, the parties negotiate keys after each send or receive message, which makes it impossible to calculate data keys from earlier ones. Symmetry key ratchet and double key different ratchet. Basically, it combines the ideas of the property, like as I said, it combines the properties of symmetry key ratchet and Diffie-Hellman ratchet, right? So okay, let me read the history also. So the double ratchet algorithm was developed in 2023 by Trevor Perrin. right? And Moxin Marlin Spike, the creator of the non-profit organization of the open source called software called non-profit organization of open source software. The goal is of the organization is to provide easy to use set of mobile application for secure communication. In February 2014, Trevor Perrin and Moxie Marlinspike introduced the algorithm as a part of the Signal protocol. Okay, the purpose of the double ratchet algorithm is to combine the Diffie-Hellman ratchet first introduced in the off-rocket OTR message as a symmetric key ratchet and symmetric key ratchet present in the okay. The algorithm was originally named after the endangered animal of axolotl, which was exceptional self-healing abilities. Okay, axolotl algorithm to double ratchet algorithm. Got it, got it a little bit. Okay, I'm learning. I'm reading again. So we got the history, right? Okay, let me read the introduction. Where was I left? Okay, we have covered this. Like double ratchet algorithm were designed to provide forward perfect forward against post compromise security. We have done this. Like these properties are ensured by the fact that the parties of communication generate new keys. These properties are ensured by the fact that the parties of a communication generate new keys for each message using a cryptographic one-way function. These properties are ensured by the fact that the parties of the communication means party of the communication these are the parties generate new keys for each message using a cryptography one-way function which prevents an attacker from calculating earlier key using the later ones. Besides, the parties renegotiate keys after each sender receives message using a new pair of keys unknown to the attacker, which makes it impossible to calculate later keys from the earlier ones. Got it? Thus, the double-ratchet algorithm combines the IT properties of symmetric ratchet and Diffie-Hellman ratchet. Like how we are able to achieve this? Let us see. This is the whole algorithm. Okay, whole. I have to read this article. I don't know how will this video go on. Right? I have to. Okay. Nevertheless, I have to basically live stream the video, no, but nevertheless, be with me. Again, I'm not explaining this. Basically, I'm learning, and the process of my learning is that I have to explain it, not to you, not to me, right? So basically, but I'm a good teacher, basically, right? I'm a good teacher, but here I'm not explaining the stuff, right? But still, if you are making the project like us, you can contact me on LinkedIn, right? Like, uh, hey Prasoon is my ID. In slash hey Prasoon is my LinkedIn ID. You can contact me. Okay. Okay. So KD, the key concept of a double ratchet algorithm is a KDF chain. A key derivation function is a cryptographic function that converts a secret and a random KDF key secret or a random KDF key and some input data into the output data that is indistinguishable for the random that is provided that the key isn't known. In other words, we can say that KDF is a pseudo random function, right? PRF. If the key is not secret and random, The KDF must still be a secure cryptographic hash function. The use of HMAC HKDF construction in the conjunction with a secure cryptographic hash function provide all necessary requirements for the KDF. Right? A KDF chain is a composition of the function in which a part of the function's input is called uh, is is used as a key, in which part of the one function output is means the output is used as an input of the another function, right, of the another KDF. The picture below clearly illustrates a function of the described chain. Okay, this is a KDF chain basically. KDF key goes into this and some into this, and it creates another KDF key with some output key, right? And this output key will use for this session. Yes. Another way, KDF key with some out. You can clearly see it creates output key for different session, right? Okay. Now, the output keys are indistinguishable from the random ones. In case of adversary control over the output provided, a KDF key is unknown to him. Forward secrecy. The output keys that are formed before the compromise are indistinguishable from the random ones for an adversary who compromise the KDF key at the same point in time. Backend recovery output keys formed after compromise and distinguishing from the random ones for an adversary who has compromised KDF key at some point in time, provided that future input data have sufficient entropy. Okay. In the Alice Bob double lattice session, each site stores key for three chains. Okay, a root chain, a sending chain, a receiving chain. At the same time, Alice sending chain corresponding to the to the we have three chains basically. To the Alice sending chain have to compromise, have to synchronize basically to Bob's receiving chain and vice versa, right? When Alice and Bob exchange messages, they also exchange new Diffie-Hellman public key, and the Diffie-Hellman output secret key are used as root chain inputs. Okay, the output keys from the root chain become new keys for the chain of the sending and receiving message. The described algorithm is called the Diffie-Hellman ratchet. The sending and receiving chains are advanced. When each message is sent and received, the output keys of these chains are directly used to encrypt and decrypt the message. Such algorithm is called symmetric key ratchet. I'm not able to understand. I'm trying to get it. Is it double ratchet algorithm? Is this was symmetric? It is with Diffie-Hellman ratchet. Then we have combined those both facets, and yes, let me drink some water. Okay, where were we are at this, right? Symmetric ratchet. Let us see what is this actually. Then I will go to sleep after that. So the basic idea of the symmetric key ratchet is that every receive or send message is encrypted with a unique key message key. Okay. The message key are obtained using receiving and sending KDF chains. The KDF chains are those chains are called chain keys. The KDF inputs are constant, which is the reason for the violation of security after the key has been compromised. The only task of the sending and receiving chain is to ensure the uniqueness of the encryption key for each message, which allows you to delete this key after encryption or decryption. The rest step is the consideration is the calculation of the next chain key from a given chain key. Since message keys are not used to obtain the following keys, yes, they can be stored without affecting the security of another message key. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. It is not dependent. Now, if an attacker get access to sending and receiving chain keys from one of the party at some point in time, he will be able to calculate the future message and consequently he will get access to further message to prevent this. This the double-latched algorithm combines a symmetric ratchet with a Diffie-Hellman ratchet, which provides security after a compromise of the key. To implement a Diffie-Hellman ratchet, each of the parties generates a Diffie-Hellman key pair, which becomes their current ratchet key pair. Each message begins with a header containing the sender's current public ratchet public key. When a message is received, the sender's public key is used to implement the the message received. The sender's public key is used to implement Diffie-Hellman ratchet step, which generates a common key material and generates a new ratchet key pair. Thus, the communication parties continuously exchange public keys and update their key pairs. The attacker who managed to acquire one party secret key at some point will not able to take the advantage in the future, because when performing the net step, a secret key will be replaced with the uncompromised one and the attacker will not able to calculate the further Diffie element key material. This picture shows the process of obtaining a common key material using the Diffie element ratchet. Before the protocol starts, release receives the Bob's public key. The array ratchet key is not known to Bob. As a part of the initialization, arrays calculate Diffie-Hellman output based on the Bob's public key and her secret key. ये पब्लिक की यहाँ आई अपनी प्राइवेट की और पब्लिक की से इसने डेफी एलिमेंट के हुए जो करते हैं और डेफी एलिमेंट आउटपुट आ गया. दिस इनिशियलाइजेशन राइट. नाउ Alice's first message includes her ratchet public key. As soon as Bob received the message, she performed ratchet step. Alice's first message includes her ratchet public key. As soon as Bob received the message, he performs a ratchet step. अच्छा, first message includes a ratchet public key. Okay, Bob's calculate Now Bob's calculate a Diffie-Hellman output which is equal to the value obtained by the Alice based on the Alice public key and a ratchet private key. Bob randomly generates a new key pair, calculate a new Diffie-Hellman output. The Diffie-Hellman ratchet step is shown in the picture below. Okay, Diffie-Hellman ratchet step. Now what is going on? That this is initialization. Public key is sent to allies. Okay. Now allies will add its public key and private key to same to do some Diffie-Hellman exchange and to give some Diffie-Hellman exchange output, right? This is Diffie-Hellman output. Now it will not share Diffie-Hellman output for sure. It will share public key, right? And basically, it will also Diffie-Hellman and DH output. It will match. It's Diffie-Hellman is equal to Diffie-Hellman or not? Okay. Then Bob's new key ratchet pair. How? It will generate a DH output also. How it is able to generate a new Diffie-Hellman output? Let us see. So basically, the message sent by Bob contains his new public key. Yes. After receiving a message from Bob, Alice performed a Diffie-Hellman register, thereby obtaining the Diffie-Hellman output previously developed by Bob, generating a new key pair, generating a new Diffie-Hellman key agreement protocol valued on the Bob's public key, and a new Russian secret key. After receiving a message from Alice containing her new public key, after receiving a message from Alice containing her new public key, Bob will perform the second Diffie assignment, second stop go on, right? The Diffie-Hellman output generated during each Diffie-Hellman ratchet step are used to derive new sending and receiving chain keys. Okay. The picture below complements the Bob first ratchet step. Bob uses the first Diffie-Hellman output to derive a receiving chain, which corresponds to the allies receiving sending chain. Okay. Further, allies receive the receiving chain key equal to the sending chain key generated by Bob and forms a new sending chain. However, the algorithm described above is a simplification reality. Further analysis. However, the algorithm describes above is a simplification. In reality, the Diffie-Hellman output is used as the input of the root chain. The output of the root chain used as a sending and receiving data. The use of a KDF chain allows to increase stability and durability after the compromise of key. Thus, the full ratchet step consists of updating the KDF root chain, updating the sender and receiver based on the root chain to the rest in the below. Okay. His private key and public key. His public key using Diffie-Hellman, the root key, right? I don't know. I just remember. I just the input and makes a key, and there are two input. Like it's input this and one input this basically. So what was the problem over here? It was a constant term, right? It is a constant and chain key is basically if someone got this, we will be able to figure out something. right? Now we will change this also, right? Hope you are getting it. This public key is suppose that this is not a whole conversion. This is from the allies perspective. We can say that, yes, allies perspective. And this public key is received from the Bobs, right? Okay. Now, now, combining the ratchet with symmetric key and a Diffie-Hellman ratchet leads to a definition of double ratchet algorithm. Okay, what does that mean? When a message is received or sent, means we are combining the symmetric and Diffie-Hellman ratchet, right? Okay, how we are able to achieve it? When a message is received or sent, a symmetric ratchet is applied to the sending and the receiving chain to derive the message key. When a public key received, the double-hatched program is performance to, or to prior the updating the sending and receiving chain keys. Okay, getting it. At the initial movement of the protocol, Alice has Bob's Rashid public key. At the initial movement of the protocol, Alice has Bob's, yes, Bob's public key, yes, and has a shared secret with Bob, which is the key of the root chain. Oh, there is a key of the root chain. As the part of the initialization, Alice generates a new Rashid key pair and uses the new Rashid key pair means Rashid key pair. What is Rashid key pair? Just like a sending, you want to send something and the key for the next KDF function. We can say that. That's why it's called a Rashid key pair, right? And uses a Duffy-Hellman output to form a new root key and a sending chain key. The installation clear in the picture below, right? Now, this is Rashid. This is root. This is sending. This is receiving. So Rashid, it receives the public key, performs some Diffie-Hellman with his private and public key, and we got the output, the root key, and we got two new keys, which is a root key for the next to KDF function at the, and the CK means sending chain key. Yes, it's a chain key basically. It can be a receiving key or a sending key, right? Now, when Alice sends her first message A1, she applies a symmetric key reset step to her sending chain key, thereby receiving a new messaging key The sending chain key must be stored while the message key and the own chain can be deleted. A step in the stored one belief. This all can be deleted and this is a chain key. And we are performing some KDF. Here we are performing symmetric key, right? At CK, right? And it is symmetric key ratchet, right? Okay. Now, suppose that the response from the POP B1 contains the new ratchet public key. Then allies perform Diffie-Hellman step in order to obtain new sending and receiving chain keys. Then she applies a symmetric key ratchet step chain to the receiving chain to get a decryption key from the received message. The described result is shown in the picture below. What I'm trying to say, suppose that a response received from the POP B1 contains a new ratchet public key. Then allies perform a Diffie-Hellman step in order to send new. Yes, it has to send new sending resistance. She applies a symmetric key register. Hmm. Okay. Suppose allies and sends messages 2, which receives a message D2 with the old ratchet public key and sends it as 8 and F4. Recovery from compromise. Now, Diffie-Hellman ratchet algorithm is designed to provide protection against the passive adversary who reads encrypted messages after one or both sides of the communication session have been compromised. However, compromising the keys or the integrity of the device can have dangerous consequences for the security for a future communication session. For example, the attacker could use compromise key to replace the compromised site. For example, using private key with. Hmm. Hmm. New Rashid key generated at each definite step or new key. There is a sending key. Sending key is not required immediately. Uh, this step can postpone until a new assist. If the double hashed algorithm is used in the condition of party anonymity, about to start implementation of package. Okay, I think is that I have really understood the concept and what is double hashed, and I have read all the article. Right, I will make a video like I will explain in the very good detail in another video. Until then, bye bye.